On today's adventure, we combine 3 trails in one epic loop. It's episode 5 of our 5,000-mile road trip, and we're at Pinnacles, our 6th national park. Let's get going. This is only our 3rd try. Hey guys, I'm Blake.
I'm Ellie, and on today's adventure, we're at Pinnacles!
Woo! After waking up for sunrise in the beautiful Pinnacles Campground, we got to fully enjoy the perks of car camping with breakfast tacos, coffee, tea, and even parfait.
So we're kind of living luxury,
It is 9:39 right now, so we really took the morning slow since we got in so late last night. And after Anacapa, we needed to really just relax in the morning. And it was really, really nice having all the things that we had right in front of us, and then did our normal routine of packing everything up, enjoying everything around us in the campground. There's so many bunnies, so many little deer, but either way, time for some hiking?
Let's go.
Can you hit my lens? Pinnacles National Park, located 80 miles southeast of San Jose in Central California, is split up by its east and west entrances that do not connect to each other. Since the only campground in the park is on the east side, we made our way to the Condor Gulch trailhead to begin our 3 trails in one loop. We are all sunscreened up, we have some food in our bags, we have plenty of water because it is hot already, and very bright as you can tell. We are on the Condor Gulch to High Peak to Bear Gulch loop. Should be about 5.5 miles and about 1,700 feet of elevation gain.
Yeah.
Should be a good hike, honestly.
Yep, they told us not to hike between 12 and 5, and it's 10:30.
We will be hiking.
Yeah, we will be hiking, but that's okay, we can handle it.
They call it Condor Gulch for a reason.
What's cool about Pinnacles is that most of the trails actually loop together. So if you want to make a longer day trip, you can combine some of them like we are. So you can kind of play with the trails, which I haven't really seen at this kind of level in the other parks. So that's pretty cool here.
What do you think? Oh, you want to be sponsored by REI? Is that what this? Yeah, REI, if you're watching, please sponsor us. With our REI plug out of the way, we continued up the trail, getting closer to the condors, flying gracefully above us, which was the main highlight of this leg of our planned loop. What do you think about more bird facts? Yeah, more bird facts. The Californian condor, basically a vulture, they are critically endangered, and in the 1980s, they actually captured all of the remaining Californian condors in the wild, took them into habitation, and actually bred them to a point where they could be re-released into the wild. While they are still critically endangered, it's at a much better numbers than they were in the past. So there's your bird fact. We made great time in the cooler temperatures of the late morning, climbing past Condor Gulch Overlook before stopping for lunch next to the famous Pinnacles. After our lunch, we were back on the trail in no time. Welcome to Pinnacles National Park, where you get stuck between rocks because there is a sign on the trail that tells you to. Ugh. From up where? Oh! There was a little sign on the trail that said almost like a window opening or something. Ellie is all the way up there. And here's the view in front of us. It's pretty cool. She's crazy. Why don't you come down before you hurt yourself?
My head's bending in ways it shouldn't.
Wow. We climbed back onto the main trail, got distracted by some crazy looking trees, and eventually made it to the first turning point in our loop. We were now on to the steep and narrow High Peaks Trail. Starting out with beautiful views with colorful flowers, we were surprised to turn a corner and see the makeshift handrails and steps carved into the rocks, now thousands of feet above sea level. After several hundred feet of elevation gain from these steps, we were greeted with incredible sweeping views of the entire park. From this vantage point, condors were almost at eye level and even close enough to make out the numbers on their tags. After searching for his tag number later, we learned this 6-year-old male was raised by a mother that survived a gunshot wound in 2009, despite this practice being illegal since 1901. So we are on the High Peaks part of the trail, and I just want to show you what you're getting into if you go to High Peaks. We just came from up there, down these steps that are literally made into the rocks.
I love the steps. I like when trails get a little bit dangerous, a little bit adventurous, you know? If they're too easy, I don't want it.
We were over 3 miles into the trail at this point, and as we came down from high peaks, we could make out our path to this point. Goes up and around.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see, like...
And this is just where we were up here in the high peak. And there's a condor right on top of that rock. We stopped here to climb among the jagged cliffs for some photo ops and dancing before beginning the last few miles of this leg of the loop. The last 2 miles to Bear Gulch were incredibly hot and dusty in the midday heat, and with the elevation gain, our bodies were definitely feeling it. This has been a lot longer than we thought it was going to be. We're like 4 hours and 15 minutes now into the trail. We've already hit the 5.5 mile marker, but we think that the Old Trails has vastly underestimated going on the High Peaks Trail, which was awesome. And now we've come to the Bear Gulch Reservoir.
So this is like really pretty sight to like finally make it to.
It's an oasis.
And there's like nobody here on this trail. Like we've seen like maybe like 2 other groups, but it's really, we're all alone in this huge park. So it's really cool. We're gonna go take some pictures down there, go hang out by the water and just kind of cool off a bit, and then we'll see what else. All right, so we are leaving the reservoir, going down into the upper cave if it's open, and if not, we're gonna continue down to the lower cave. But it's pretty freaking cool, this part of the hike. Really, really like it. The time has come. We are about to enter the cave. Got our headlamps out. We are inside the cave and we've come across this.
A sign that says bonk. So this is the upper part of the caves, which is clearly closed for the bats right now. So there is an alternate route. We're gonna take that and go to the lower part of the caves right now. This is almost straight down.
Lights on.
The caves only close during bat mating season, and while we missed the upper caves, the lower caves were awesome. At points, it was total darkness, but most of the time, light was coming through the open cave ceiling. So far, the cave's been really bright, so this hasn't been that helpful. And here we are at the other side. Anyways, on to the rest of the hike. I don't know if I can speak for Ellie, but I am ready for this one to be over. It has been much longer, much more strenuous than we would have thought. It's about time we get back to the car, cool off a little bit, and figure out our next plan. The last couple miles of the trail was away from the sun and not too challenging, which was a relief for us. Before we knew it, we were finally back with the RAV4.
5 hours.
Took us, right around 5 hours, maybe like 4 hours 15 moving time or something like that. We're both very, very tired. After a long day of hiking in the midday heat, we reflected on the amazing diversity of the trails we just completed. From Condor Gulch's majestic endangered birds and unique rock formations, to High Peak's incredible views and challenging stairs, and finally to Bear Gulch's hidden oasis and descending into the cool, dark shadows of its caves, this hike had everything and more. Pinnacles is not a usual bucket list destination for hikers and is even one of the least 10 visited national parks in the country. From our one day exploring, we're sure it's only going to gain popularity and is a must-see stop on your California road trip. With that, it was time to say goodbye to Pinnacles and hello to a much-needed hot shower as we were headed north to the Bay Area. On our next episode, we hit another major milestone on the road, surpassing 2,000 miles since our adventure began way back in Austin, Texas some days ago. We're now in San Francisco for a day, exploring the streets instead of the trails for the first time on this trip. With some delicious local food to try, local wildlife to say hello to, and plenty of landmarks to see, our short visit is going to be packed with it all. Drop a like and a comment if you enjoyed this video, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out on what's to come. Until then, we'll see you next week on today's adventure.